Did you think Iraq in 2003 was just war and chaos? Think again. Amidst falling bombs and stray bullets, a news report flashed and then vanished. The tomb of Gilgamesh, the king, the demigod, the giant of legend, had been found. Then, absolute silence. Coincidence? Or was a discovery capable of rewriting all of human history, even changing human nature itself, deliberately made to evaporate by some power? They weren't looking for gold. They were looking for a code, the DNA of a god. Could this earth-shattering secret change how you view history, power, and our own future forever? Join me as we uncover this horrifying truth, and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss even more shocking evidence. Who do you think is behind this disappearance? Comment your theories now. That silence, the way a discovery of cosmic proportions like Gilgamesh's tomb was drowned in the depths of oblivion, was itself a confession. A confession that what they found, or thought they would find, was more precious than all the gold and silver treasures on earth combined. To understand why, we must delve deeper into the very nature of Gilgamesh, not just as a historical king, but as a coveted prototype, an almost perfect design that many clandestine powers craved. Gilgamesh, according to humanity's oldest epic named after him, was described as 2/3 divine, 1/3 human. Pause for a moment and reflect on the meaning of this phrase. It's not a literary metaphor. It's a statement about biological nature, a superior hybrid. Other ancient texts, particularly the Book of Enoch, a book once excluded from the Orthodox Bible but containing astonishing details about the antediluvian period, go even further. The Book of Enoch describes the Watchers, fallen angels who descended to earth, mated with human women, and fathered a giant race called the Nephilim. These Nephilim not only possessed extraordinary physical strength, but were also believed to hold forbidden knowledge, secrets of the universe, technology, and even the nature of life itself, far beyond the reach of early humans. Many researchers believe that Gilgamesh, with his described extraordinary stature and strength, could very well have been one of the last Nephilim, or at least carried their special bloodline. Imagine you are a secret organization, a superpower with limitless ambitions. What would you seek in such a figure? Bones? Artifacts? That's just the surface. What they were truly hunting for was the genetic code, Gilgamesh's DNA. A DNA that could contain genes conferring superior traits, extraordinary strength, extended lifespan, superior intellect, near absolute disease resistance. In a world where biotechnology is advancing at breakneck speed, possessing such a source code is akin to holding the holy grail of genetic science. It's not just a key to understanding our past, but also a tool to reshape the future, to create a new generation of superhumans, or at least to give an absolute advantage to whichever nation or organization possesses it. Think about it. If you could extract and decode those genes, what could you do? Create invincible warriors? Scientists with superhuman intellect? Or even extend lifespans, conquer diseases for a select few? This is no longer science fiction. It's a research direction that many secret laboratories around the world might be silently pursuing. Gilgamesh, in their eyes, is not a historical figure to be admired. He is a specimen, an invaluable resource. The disappearance of information about his tomb, therefore, is not an archaeological oversight. It could be a sign of a successful harvest, a campaign that achieved its ultimate goal, accessing the blueprint of a demigod. The question is, if they truly obtained that DNA, what have they done with it? And was it only one group that accessed this treasure? Or was it a fierce, hidden struggle that we, ordinary people, know nothing about? The truth about Gilgamesh might just be the tip of a colossal iceberg, a network of ancient secrets being exploited right under our noses. But hunting for the DNA of a demigod is just the beginning. What they might have done with it, and the covert war to possess the even more terrifying knowledge Gilgamesh might have carried from antediluvian times, is what truly makes us shudder. And that is where our story will go next, into the dark corridors of power and technology, where ancient history intersects with modern ambition in a frightening way. Next, we will explore how Iraq in 2003, with its chaos, became the perfect playground for these shadow hunters. So, we have a priceless target, the legacy of Gilgamesh. But how to access it in broad daylight? The answer, terrifyingly, lies in the most tragic and chaotic event of the early 21st century, the 2003 invasion of Iraq. A nation torn apart by war, a collapsed government, porous borders, and a cultural heritage thousands of years old suddenly became ownerless. It wasn't just a humanitarian and cultural tragedy. For some, it was a golden opportunity, a Wild West where international law temporarily gave way to the law of the jungle, and shadowy operations could proceed unhindered. Picture this. While the world's media focused on the fighting, on the overthrow of Saddam Hussein's regime, another war, a completely different kind of excavation, may have been silently underway backstage. Official reports indicate that a German archaeological team, led by Jörg Fassbinder, had discovered signs of the ancient city of Uruk and possibly Gilgamesh's tomb based on geophysical analyses. That was the tip of the iceberg, the part Aol to be public. But were they the only ones there? Were there unofficial heritage task forces equipped with cutting-edge technology and operating under the auspices of powerful intelligence agencies also present in Iraq, with entirely different objectives? Consider this. Iraq, ancient Mesopotamia, is the cradle of civilization, home to countless archaeological sites, ancient libraries, and undiscovered secrets. The collapse of a regime creates a power vacuum, a gray zone ideal for treasure hunters of all levels. But we're not talking about common grave robbers. We're talking about organizations with almost limitless resources, capable of deploying teams of experts, scientists, and even military forces to protect and recover what they deem strategically valuable. The so-called looting of the National Museum of Iraq might not have been merely an act of chaotic plunder. Could it be that some of the most important artifacts, clay tablets containing forbidden knowledge, or relics bearing the mark of prehistoric civilizations, were selectively removed and taken away purposefully, even before petty thieves could set foot inside? A thought-provoking example is the story of the stargates rumored to exist in Iraq, ancient devices capable of instantaneous travel or opening portals to other dimensions. Though it sounds far-fetched, in the world of those seeking absolute power, no idea is too crazy if it promises a superior advantage. Was the search for Gilgamesh's tomb just part of a larger campaign to locate and possess lost ancient technologies, things left behind by gods or advanced civilizations? The heavy military presence of major powers in Iraq wasn't just for geopolitical purposes. It also created a perfect shield for covert operations, where experts could secretly access sensitive sites without arousing suspicion. And then, after the promising initial announcements, silence descended. Information about Gilgamesh's tomb sank without a trace. Archaeologists seemed to change direction. Were they ordered to stop? Or was it simply that what needed to be taken had been taken, and the rest of the play was no longer necessary? Who were the real puppet masters behind the curtain? what did the hidden sponsors of these expeditions truly want? The answer may lie in the very nature of what Gilgamesh represents, not just DNA, but knowledge, technology, a legacy that could shift the global balance of power. The hunt in the shadows in Iraq in 2003 might just be one chapter in a longer chronicle of the struggle for ancient heritage. But if they truly succeeded, if Gilgamesh's DNA and other secrets fell into the hands of some power, then the next and most terrifying question is, what have they done, and what are they doing with it? We will delve into the incredible, even horrifying possibilities of modern biotechnology when combined with these ancient codes right up next. And this is where our story truly enters forbidden territory, where the line between ancient myth and future technology becomes frighteningly thin. Let's assume, just for a moment, that those shadow hunters succeeded. They obtained a DNA sample of Gilgamesh, or a similar entity, a Nephilim, a demigod. So what? With current scientific capabilities, it's no longer an inert bone fragment. It's a detailed blueprint, a library of genetic information containing potentials far beyond our imagination. Think of CRISPR-Cas9, the gene editing technology that has revolutionized medicine. It allows scientists to cut, paste, and rewrite DNA code with unprecedented precision. Now, imagine that technology applied to a divine genome. Could they identify and isolate the genes responsible for Gilgamesh's extraordinary strength, extended lifespan, or superior cognitive abilities? The answer, based on current advancements, is very likely yes. And once identified, copying or activating those genes in ordinary humans, though still fraught with countless ethical and technical hurdles, is no longer entirely far-fetched. We're talking about the potential to create true super soldiers, individuals possessing superior endurance, speed, and regenerative capabilities. Imagine such an army, nearly invincible, obeying a single power. This isn't a Hollywood script. This is a research direction into which many secret military programs worldwide might be silently investing billions. Gilgamesh's DNA, if it exists and is decoded, would be prime material for such programs. But it doesn't stop at physical prowess. What about intellect? The legends of the Apkallu, the half-human, half-fish sages who brought knowledge to humanity before the Great Flood, are often linked to the Watchers and Nephilim. Could Gilgamesh's DNA harbor codes for superintelligence, the ability to absorb and process information at astonishing speeds? If those potentials could be unlocked, we could create geniuses capable of solving humanity's most intractable problems. Or conversely, create superminds serving dark purposes. And here's a revelation that might make you reconsider. Some conspiracy researchers believe that the search for ancient DNA isn't just about upgrading current humans. There's a bolder, more terrifying goal, an attempt to revive or recreate those very entities. Sound crazy? Remember Jurassic Park. If we can, theoretically, revive dinosaurs from ancient DNA, why not a Nephilim, given sufficient DNA samples and the necessary technology? Some believe that biblical prophecies about the return of giants in the end times are not merely spiritual, but could also be a warning about what science might achieve. Is the silence surrounding Gilgamesh's tomb because they found something and the extraction process is underway in secret? Or is it because they don't want the world to know that a biological arms race based on the heritage of ancient gods is silently escalating? These questions are not mere speculation. They are based on the real capabilities of modern science and the bottomless ambitions of humankind. What could be the price of playing God by tampering with the source code of life, especially the source code of divine entities? Are we unwittingly opening Pandora's box, unleashing forces we cannot control? The truth may be far more complex and terrifying than we can imagine. And when the veil of secrecy is fully lifted, the picture that emerges could shake the foundations of our understanding of history, religion, and humanity's very place in the cosmos. But before we confront that full picture, there's one final question that needs an answer. Why, after all these efforts and potential discoveries, is there such an encompassing silence? What is the real reason behind this veil of information? That will be the final, and perhaps most unsettling, piece of the puzzle we will explore. So, we've been on a long journey from the potential of Gilgamesh's DNA, the hunt in the shadows in Iraq, to the astonishing yet risky applications of biotechnology. But it all leads to one point: an inexplicable silence, a thick veil of information that has completely shrouded the fate of Gilgamesh's tomb and what might have been found within. Why? Why would a discovery with world-changing potential be suppressed like this? The answer isn't simple, and perhaps it's a combination of many factors, each disturbing in its own way. The first, and perhaps most conceivable possibility: national security and global stability. Imagine if information leaked that a nation possessed the DNA of a demigod and was developing super soldiers. It would immediately trigger a new biological arms race, more dangerous than nuclear weapons. Panic, instability, and the risk of global conflict would be unavoidable. Therefore, maintaining absolute secrecy could be considered a necessary security measure, even if it deprives the public of its right to know. The second possibility: exclusive advantage and a covert war. Whichever party found or recovered this precious heritage would want to keep it for themselves, to silently research, exploit, and gain a superior advantage over rivals. Publicizing the information would mean sharing the treasure, something no ambitious power desires. Silence here is a strategy, a way to maintain an edge in an undeclared war. The third, and perhaps most terrifying possibility: a discovery too shocking, beyond human comprehension and control. What if what they found wasn't just DNA, but an ancient technology, a living entity, or knowledge that could completely shatter the religious, scientific, and philosophical foundations we've built for millennia? There are truths humanity may not be ready to face, and in that case, burying it again, literally or figuratively, might be deemed the safest option by those in power. Or perhaps they failed, found nothing significant, and the silence is to cover up that embarrassment. But given what we've analyzed, this possibility seems less convincing. And there's one more possibility. It's part of a far more complex psychological operation. PSYOP. The initial news about finding the tomb might have been just bait, a way to distract public attention from other activities, or to disseminate certain information for a larger purpose we cannot yet fathom. Conclusion: seeing is believing, but don't rush to believe. So, what really happened to Gilgamesh's tomb in 2003? The truth, as we've seen, might be a labyrinth of hypotheses, conspiracies, and possibilities far beyond what we usually think. From the DNA of a demigod, the shadowy hunts by clandestine powers in a chaotic Iraq, to the terrifying potential of biotechnology and the strategic reasons behind the veil of silence. The story of Gilgamesh is not just an archaeological mystery. It's a mirror reflecting humanity's ambitions, fears, and relentless power struggles. It reminds us that beneath the surface of official information, there are always undercurrents, hidden truths that can shape our destiny in unexpected ways. If the discoveries and analyses in this video have truly opened up a new perspective for you, a deeper curiosity about the mysteries of our world? Don't hesitate to like and share this video so more people can join this journey of discovery. And please subscribe to Ancient Bible Secrets and hit the notification bell, because our journey to uncover even more shocking truths, ancient mysteries, and modern conspiracies is far from over. What do you think about the silence surrounding Gilgamesh's tomb? Which theory do you find most convincing? Or do you have other information or perspectives to share? Please leave your comments below. I'm really eager to hear from and discuss with our community, because only by asking questions, seeking, and sharing can we get closer to the truth, no matter how elusive it may be. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next exploration.